exposed. Trump supporter just brutally attacked by Leftist, and CNN does something sick. Remember how CNN and various politicians on the left are always yammering on about how Republicans are white supremacists and President Trump supports the KKK despite explicitly condemning them. Well, in their ignorance, they might be surprised to know that many people of color actually are conservative and do support President Trump. Case in point, Trump supports C.W. Maxwell. Maxwell was at an America First rally in Laguna Beach, California to support President Trump. He was then punched in the face by a white anti-fascist who was later arrested for assault. Here's what Maxwell has to say about the encounter. If the optics were completely different and I was a Black Lives Matter supporter and I was attacked on Trump's side of a protest, I would be in the spotlight on CNN right now. I went over the line. No, I went over to the left side to see if I could engage them with dialogue, and I was instantly encircled by the so-called anti-fascists. The sicko attacker was repentant, saying on Twitter shortly after the attack, he did it because he would not stop talking about Trump when all of us told him thousands of times he didn't want to hear it. I am not racist. Please arrest me. Laughing my effing ass off. Typical anti-fascists using violence instead of dialogue. These people are sick in the head, and his victim, R.C. Maxwell, needs to get the praise and support he deserves for sticking up for his beliefs in the face of violence. Where is the mainstream media reporting on Antifa violence against people of color? Nowhere. What did CNN do? Nothing. It's all like they don't care. It doesn't suit their leftist political agenda. Sad. CNN might not care about this, but we think people need to know. So let's get R.C. Maxwell's story out there and shame mainstream media. Here's the video.
It was a blatant cheap shot in Laguna Beach Sunday night. Video catches a man walk up behind Trump supporter R.C. Maxwell, then take a swing at him.
If the optics were completely different and I was a Black Lives Matter supporter and I was attacked on the Trump side of a protest, I would be spotlight on CNN right now.
Maxwell met up with me on Tuesday, telling me the attack was unprovoked.
I went over to the left side to see if I can engage them with dialogue, and I was instantly encircled by the so-called anti-fascist.
The man who allegedly sucker punched him quickly identified himself on Twitter after the rally, tweeting that he did it because Maxwell wouldn't stop talking about Trump and that he isn't racist. When someone called for his arrest, he replied, quote, "Please arrest me, LMFAO." Laguna Beach police granted his request. 20-year-old Richard Losey was arrested Tuesday evening and charged with battery and making terroristic threats.
I think the fact that I'm a black conservative causes a lot of problems for the left side because there's no way they can really resolve that according to their narrative of what they think Trump supporters are. So I think that was something that was a bit triggering to the other side.
The sucker punch wasn't Maxwell's only issue at the rally. Hours before it happened, I tried to interview him after we saw him get shoved by members of Antifa.
Jesus! Antifa was violent. Keep your hands to yourself, man.
We were quickly surrounded by counter-protesters, which led Maxwell to speak out.
I have a different political opinion. That's no reason to treat me less human. But these so-called anti-fascists are literally the fascists themselves. They're the ones who want to engage in dialogue, violence, and not dialogue. And you just wanted to ask me a couple of questions about what was happening, and we could not even conduct an interview.
Maxwell believes counter-protesters targeted him because he's a black man supporting Donald Trump.
So I was getting lots of specific comments like, "You're a sellout, you're an Uncle Tom."
And he says it's that attitude that stops America's political divide from ever being bridged.
Dialogue is being shut down and free speech is being attacked.
As of Wednesday night, jail records show that the suspect, Richard Losey, is still behind bars at the Orange County Jail. He has a $500 bond. His next court date is set for Thursday. In Los Angeles, Bill Malugin, Fox 11 News.
Good, that's where this person should be at. For doing this to this black man. You know, we all have the right of freedom to speech, free speech. And this man was, I guess, at a Trump rally. And this happens to him because Antifa's there. Of course, Antifa is just about at every rally I can think of. They show up. They just come right out of the woodwork, and there they are at a rally. And every rally that I've watched on YouTube or watched it on the news, there isn't a rally anywhere that I've seen that doesn't have violence in it when Antifa is there. Every rally that I've seen, from the Boston Common to Charlottesville, anywhere Antifa shows up, there's always fights that break out. There's always violence at their rallies. And it doesn't have to be an Antifa rally. You know, it could be a Donald Trump rally on the outside of a building, and Antifa shows up, and what happens? You got violence. They're a violent group of people that needs to be stopped, in my book, right along with Black Lives Matter and all the rest of the violent groups out there and racist groups out there. Please watch this video, comment on it, like it, and watch my other videos that I have on YouTube. This is Terry for the Patriot News Channel. Until next time, people.